Question on Spider Gasket. Hi, I've got a unique question, I think. I have a pool that was installed several years ago, around, it says 5,000 gallons. It has a Hydrostar multiport valve. The seal is damaged and there is no support from the installer. The pool is located in Asia. I am sure this is a Chinese copy of some normal brand. The valve is flange type mounted on the top of the sand filter with 8 bolts. Do you have any idea what brand was copied so I could buy a replacement Spider gasket? Do you think there's any way to make a replacement gasket? I'm pretty good at mechanical things, having spliced O-rings and such before. This is a bit harder, I know, and any advice you give carries no warranty or guarantee, I know, as these are only photos. And here's an example of the filter and the gasket in question.
So from a answer standpoint, there are several different manufacturers that make filters of this type and multi-port valves of this type. This one happens to be what we would call a 5-spoke Spider gasket. They do make them in 6 as well. Oftentimes what I've had to do in past years is purchase a 6 Spider spoke gasket and cut one of the spokes off to fit a 5 Spider gasket spoked system. Likely this looks like ish because there's that one flat spot in one of those bolt down patterns, although that's only 6 screws, and I'm pretty sure it might have been 8 screws, but the sizing might be similar. Is this might have been fabricated after a Triton filter multi-port valve, which that is now a Pentair product. Before it was probably a American Products or something. What I would probably do if I were you though is I would measure, if you don't have the original gasket, which I can't tell in the picture I'm looking at, I can't tell if the gasket's still there or not. What I would do is I would get the diameter of that, the inside diameter from outside edge to outside edge of the gasket, what side it would have to be, and you have to figure out how to measure the inside of it. And then try to order a 6-spoke gasket and cut one of those spokes off. You just manufacturing it, like I guess you could try to do it out of some type of a silicone or a rubber, but that's going to be really tough. You'd be better off at that point buying a whole new filter and starting over with that. So if you could get that dimension, that the diameter of that gasket, you might be able to just get lucky and go onto all the manufacturers' websites or even the product websites and see if someone has, it might be a 6-inch, 6.5-inch, 6 3/4-inch gasket, round gasket. You might be able to find something that again might have 6 spokes instead of 5 on it, and you might just have to cut one off, and you might just get lucky that way. Otherwise, ultimately, I've been down the road of trying to glue them back together and try to goop them up and try to whatever. Unfortunately, it doesn't work very well unless you're ready to put a valve on the backwash line so that you can close it so that water can't escape out the backwash line. That's a typical thing that happens. You could do that. That might slow down the problem, but you're still going to get bleed back through there, water going in places that it shouldn't go. But the easiest solution, if you can't come up with anything else, is at least put a valve on the backwash line so you can shut that when it's not in backwash mode, and at least you won't lose water. Water won't stay as clear, but at least you won't lose water. Because oftentimes when this valve, the gasket goes, the biggest problem is water leaks out the backwash, and then people lose water and wonder why their pool's going down. And sometimes we have to just put a valve there and you shut it off. You just have to remember, when it's time to backwash, you got to make sure to open that valve up, and when you're done backwashing and rinsing, you got to make sure to shut that valve again. So I don't know if that helps you at all, but it's all I got for you at this point.